Welcome everyone to the next episode in our Night Springs series. If you are new, I recommend pausing and watching the introduction video which breaks down the nature of the TV show before proceeding further. With that out of the way, grab some popcorn and let's check out today's episode of Night Springs.
Tonight's episode, The Doomed Samaritan. Sometimes, even the simplest things prove impossible. Consider, you get in a car and leave a life behind. Easy? Not tonight.
Thanks for the ride, Mark. I'm so glad to be leaving this place. You have no idea.
What, Night Springs? Come on, Linda, relax. It's not that bad. Hey, what's that up ahead?
Oh, God. There's someone in the road. I think there's been an accident. Are you all right?
Oh no, Linda! Oh no! It was me on the road! Wait! Tell him to watch out for the truck! Watch out for the truck!
My God, Mark?
Oh, please! God, no! Linda! Linda!
Thanks for the ride, Mark. I'm so glad to be leaving this place.
What, Night Springs? Come on, Linda, relax. It's not that bad. Hey, what's that up ahead?
Oh, God. There's someone in the road. I think there's been an accident. Are you all right?
Oh no, Linda! Oh no! It was me on the road! Wait! Tell him to watch out for the truck! Watch out for the truck!
My God, Mark?
And there you have it. A vicious cycle, brutally punctuated by the blast of an air horn and screaming metal. Many roads are dangerous, but none more so than the one that leads away from Night Springs.
Some of you may not remember this episode since it was cut from the game's original release, only added in during future versions. Hidden away in the Cauldron Lake Lodge, it is easy to miss when running away from the Dark Presence. Up until this point, the episodes had been standalone, each exploring either a single theme or possible narrative relevance to the RCU as a whole. This episode and the two subsequent ones flirt with more of the mythology of Night Springs as a town. The story of the Doomed Samaritan focuses on a woman named Linda who is looking to escape the town. No justification for her decision is given, but on her way out, something happens that prevents her crossing the threshold. A time loop and a traffic collision that presumably led to her demise. While the circumstances are different, something similar happens in the Bright Fall prequel. Jake Fisher attempts to leave the town on a few occasions. Each time he blacks out and ends up finding himself driving back with no memory of why he turned around. The events of the show caused him to distrust his own sanity. Because of this, he asks his friend Ellen to drive him out, hoping that if someone else is driving, the results of his endeavor will end differently. This mirrors Linda having her friend Mark drive her out of Night Springs. In both cases, something happens to ruin these plans. Linda and Mark end up stuck in the aforementioned time loop where they are impacted by a truck. In Jake's case, he wakes up once again on his way back into town, but he is now in the driver's seat. Ellen is missing, her shoe in the passenger seat covered in what looks to be blood. Without any further evidence, we can get an idea about what is happening. Something, whether it be an external force or his own twisted mind, is keeping Jake trapped in Bright Falls. Is Night Springs the same way? It may be that the town does not permit anyone from leaving, but why? The next section is pure speculation, but it ties into an aspect of the Alan Wake setting that has not been explored. Based upon the evidence previously provided, Night Springs manifests itself into the world when a story is ready to play out. Once the story is complete, the town vanishes. The cabin on Cauldron Lake does the same thing. It appears when it is needed in the plot, then vanishes. But what about the characters involved? The ones who exist before and after the manifestation? the ones trapped by the events of one of Alan's stories or an episode of Night Springs. What happens if they do what Jake tried to do? Simply leave. Go off script. To run off the edge of the page and escape the plot. If it was Jake's destiny to be involved in this story, him trying to leave the town would never work, because he is required to be on set for the next scene. Does Night Springs behave the same way? Linda's story may simply be a dramatized account of someone trying to leave the story they are trapped by. For her, these actions unintentionally completed the script. For Jake, it simply spun him around and forced him back on stage. A Doomed Samaritan has strong links to this particular event in the Bright Falls prequel series. However, there is a more direct link to the story of Alan Wake. This exact scene played out with Alan as the driver. After collecting the cabin keys from a local gas station, Alan drives to his destination. While traveling, he comes across a hitchhiker and decides to pick him up. Further up the road, they notice a crashed car and an injured figure lying in the middle of the road. The writer was struck by deja vu. The scene already played out on the pages of his story, the one he was currently working on. He knew the hitchhiker was about to die. As soon as Alan exited the car to check on the injured figure, a 16-wheeler collided into his vehicle. The hitchhiker was killed immediately. By the time Alan checked on the initial body that was in the road, he saw his own face staring up at him. The very same time loop experienced by Linda and Mark played out for our protagonist. If none of you remember this scene from the game, don't worry, it's not the Mandela effect. This scene was from a 2006 demo that was showcased at an Exo 6 gaming event in Barcelona, Spain. We learn in Alan Wake Illuminated that this scene was cut completely from the vinyl version of the game. I want to give a huge thanks to Matt from Hidden Machine for getting me the scans from the book we are using on screen. He is currently working on scanning all of Alan Wake Illuminated so those who don't have access to a physical copy can get a chance to experience it. I'll leave a link to his channel below. After cutting the scene where Alan finds the wreckage of his own car crash, it is reasonable to presume that Remedy converted the story into its own Night Springs episode. It really goes to show how stories are recycled throughout the creative process. I'm just curious how many episodes of Night Springs have already experienced this treatment, or potentially could experience it in the future. With all that said, this concludes my breakdown of this episode of Night Springs, A Doomed Samaritan. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe to receive updates on future uploads. If you would like to help support the channel, a Patreon has been set up and the link is in the description below. Have a great day and peace be with you all.